Hello, hello, hello. This is another edition of White Chair Talk. I am the host, A. Marie. I have my family with me. Why? Because today is Mother's Day. And this is the Mother's Day family edition of White Chair Talk. And so, again, what White Chair Talk is a place where we can have heartfelt conversations, have fun, talk about whatever God puts on our heart to say. And the concept of white chair came from white. We don't usually like to wear white. When you wear white, smudges get on it and it's really easy to see. So we're going to be transparent in this session of White Chair Talk. We're just going to say what's on our heart and have some fun. So today on my panel, I have my wonderful husband, Monty, my daughter, Misty, and my daughter, Gayla. Twin power. And so today we're going to discuss how does our upbringing shape or influence what we have become. So that's the topic. We'll just kind of be candid about how did those things influence what we are today, our personalities, how we see the world, how we view other people, stuff like that. Just simple things. So my first question would be to the panel, whoever wants to answer it first. How does your upbringing shape the way you are, the way you think, what you've become? Who would like to go first on that topic?
I can go first.
Okay, go ahead, speak.
Since I've been in college, I think that I didn't realize how much of a heavy influence my parents have had on me until I go to college and I started seeing like people's upbringings and seeing craziness, or what I deem as craziness, what I know that won't pass in this house really out there. And I noticed like how much of a, not really a survivor, but just like somebody who picks up on things quickly. Like I've noticed like I'm not with my father right now, I'm not with my mother right now, I don't got my sister with me right now. So it kind of made me piggyback on those like things that I've seen my parents do growing up. And so like whenever I'm in a situation or in a ball or band, whatever, I just kind of picture in my mind, oh, this is what my dad does when we in any situation like this. So I'm prepared this way. This is what my mom does when we getting ready for something like this. So I'm going to do it this way because that's what I know and that's what I've seen growing up. So I will say that like a lot of those things have helped me figure out, how to deal with situations being on my own and stuff like that. So when I don't want to, when I'm trying to be an adult and I don't want to call.
Okay, so when you're trying to do the adulting.
Yes.
Okay. How would you say that, okay, you said you've seen other people, how they live, things wouldn't fly here. I would say my upbringing definitely was those unspoken things. Sometimes we don't always say certain things, but it's like you can see certain things. Sometimes what we see has a really big impact on how we perceive things. It's not always something necessarily that my parents taught me, but something that I saw them, or taught me by saying, but something I saw them do. What were you going to add to that?
Kind of basically what you just said, like everything I learned in this house and how I saw relationships and how things were formed were kind of how I went into the world. Certain things, the way my dad treats my mom is how I expected other guys to treat me.
That's
or
right.
Just stuff like that. How I take care of my house. Dad, what did you call it? We used to have our bed made before we left our room every morning. And he would be, we would forget to do it. And he'd be like, I'm going to go upstairs and see if our dear bedroom's there. And now I'd never leave my house ever without my bed made, ever. I don't know a day where I haven't. And like, we always, when we were doing chores, when we used to live in the house, the kitchen was closed every night. Like it was straight every night. So I can't go to sleep now without, but it's a good habit because when I leave on trips, military stuff, and I come back home, I always come back home to a clean house. So now it's a tradition. Even when you guys leave or we'll clean up and everybody comes home and it's a thing that we do. A lot of the small skills I learned here transferred into a lot of my big skills as an adult. 15 minutes early is on time. Not on time is you're late. Arrive to the airport 2 hours. 2 hours early. Yeah.
Because you will miss your flight. That is good. I was going to add something to that, but now I really don't remember what I was going to say. But I was going to add something to that. Yes, cleaning up. You said something. Cleaning up the house was a big thing. Like I can't leave the house. If we're going on, even if it's a small trip, it must be spotless.
And we will be late because of that.
Right. Well, because when you come back home, it's just something about when you come back home and your house is clean. Right. It's just like you come back and especially you go especially if you go to somebody else's house and it's like amazing.
Get there on time.
But you appreciate your home a lot more when you're
But especially when you go somewhere and you went somewhere and it's real nice and you come back home, you be like, my house is a hot mess. So if you clean it, then you kind of feel better. If you clean it and you come back, you feel better like, okay, well, you know, my house is nice too. Okay, so do you have anything else to add to that? How do you feel that your upbringing shaped what you have become?
51 now, so I see, I see a lot of it now. The older you get, the more you see the influence that your parents had on you. And so, like, I like news and politics. Why?
Yeah.
Because I sat down and watched news and politics with my mom all the time.
Yeah.
And everything. And so now that's in reading.
Were you forced to watch it?
No.
You just went with it.
It's just what she was doing. So
okay.
That was what I did. And then, of course, I love sports. Who loves sports? My dad. Mm-hmm. So I watch sports with him all the time. And so now I watch sports all the time and everything. So, yeah. I mean, it has all those have. And then some of the things I do, the way I make decisions, and then, I don't like to be, I like to be more private with things. I get that from my parents. They're private people.
Oh yeah.
They don't like to have all their stuff business out there. So I'm the same way because that's how I came up.
Okay, so what do you feel like the upbringing, what you saw your parents do, and what, like, as far as career-wise, what do you think career-wise? Why do you think so many people, if your father was a doctor, your mother was a doctor, now you want to become a doctor, and you probably are totally against it, but something happens when you get to college, something changes, and you or you get older in high school, you all of a sudden now you want to be the doctor as well. Or, how do you think that, why do you think that is? Why do you think kids go, do that? Yes.
So I'm not necessarily, I'm in the military. Dad, you were in the military. And like our whole lives, we got to see, a lot of people who haven't been in the military and look at it from a bird's eye view and haven't actually experienced it, don't understand how, they don't really know what it is. They just hear, I can't cut my hair and I can't do these things, so they don't want to do it. And I sound brainwashed but when I think about the military, I think about when Dad took us to his office and they would give us Gatorades, and the USO always had treats, and I love going to the airport for no reason. I like the hustle and the bustle because it was an adventure, because the USO was so fun and had gum.
Yeah. We
had PlayStation. Yes, we had a good time.
I actually like mine.
And I wasn't actively serving. We still felt the camaraderie of like so that part, knowing that existed, drew me more to make a decision to want to pursue that. When there was a time where I was like, absolutely not, I'm good, homie. And then I went to high school, and then what first really got me was like, man, that uniform is fly, boy.
That uniform is nice.
I gotta have it. That's literally, I made a decision that fast, said, yeah, I want to wear that uniform. And then I appreciate it a lot more. It's crazy how the skills I developed doing a job I was an S1. I didn't even like that job, but I loved being a semi, whatever I was in JRTC, so I loved having some attachment to being a Marine and serving in that way. You just have a lot more appreciation for what you do when you're doing it with some people you don't even like, but because you guys have a common enemy, or you're all under the same boat in some way, you relate in some way, it makes it better. So you appreciate stuff more as you get older, because you see it from different eyes. And then again, just tied back to me, I'm a special case because I got to see it my whole life.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know that I had a friend, her dad was a dentist, and she enjoyed the dentist, unlike other kids, because her dad was a dentist and he made it fun for her. So I think kids typically want to follow in their parents' footsteps because we got to see a inside view.
What would you say the percentage of kids that want to, or they're kind of made to? I see these football players, basketball players, their kids can do, I think, like Kobe's daughters, Kobe Bryant. They got into it, but I don't know, he's not here anymore. And I don't know if he was said, hey, push them the basketball when they were little and said, hey, do this, or did they just kind of wanted to do it? I don't know the percentage of that. I don't know the percentage of
I feel like parents always want to set their kids up for greatness, and they know what works. Dad has seen it firsthand from his own dad, 30 years in the military, and the benefits, mind you, that came from that all the things he was able to provide and have throughout his whole life. Like, once I hear the word military, I immediately think about stability. I'm like, 4 years, you can't embrace the suck for 4 years, like, you're whack, bro. Come on, like, 4 years, you can have this. Another 4, you can have this. And I just think about how you are, like, setting up your life, because you don't want to trade in time, you know, for money. You want to trade in time. You want to do things that will actually benefit you. And so with the military, I've seen that on a gajillion occasions. Now with Chris, now with Misty, I'm going to school for free. Like, that's something that people, I know 1,000 people who are not, you know, getting. So I think that when your parents know that something works and they know, like, there's a guarantee, there's no if, ands, or buts about, you know, I know how this works. I can help you. I can guide you in this way. So it's like, you know, for Kobe, for instance, he knows that with enough practice, enough skill, enough this, you can go this far because I went this far. Okay. So, you know, if you don't have anything else to fall back on, you know that this works. You know what I mean? So if you don't know nothing else, you know that this works, and you've seen me do it, so that means that you can too. Right. So that's how I feel like why kids kind of get wrapped up in, like, well, not necessarily wrapped up in, but they're just kind of, when they're figuring out what they want to do, and so they don't know, they have somewhere to land.
Yeah, that sounds like the unspoken thing, because I don't think your father or your mother said, "Hey, I want you to join the Marine Corps." I don't think they said.
In fact, it was the opposite.
Yeah.
It was like, what? And it wasn't because of the Marine Corps. They just thought they wanted me to go to college. They wanted me to do other things. They just thought, I don't know if that's the right. Just who I had shown them, and I was a knucklehead in high school. So who I had shown myself to be at that point in time, they were like, I don't know if you can cut the mustard. You know, that's a good thing for you. But you know, I went because you know, look, I had been around it my whole life, and like Gayla just said, I saw the success through my father, and then I watched my mom. She was a leader in her own right. Everywhere we went to a new duty station, she was the head person at wherever she was or whatever. And plus, she had a degree and all the good stuff and everything. So I was like, you know, I need to whatever I'm doing, I need to step up and at least reach their level. So that when I got in, you know, took off from there. But yeah, but that definitely that was a big deal, watching your parents, you know what they did and what they went through, you know, making, you know, a decision there. So
yeah. So as for me, my mother was a nurse and my father was like an administrator and a minister, preacher, pastor. So of course I saw those influences, and my mother as well. I saw those influences heavy. And I didn't say, oh, I want to be a minister. Did not say that, but I am. I'm a minister, teacher. Absolutely do not want to be a pastor. But my mother and father have worked. My father took that route, and so did my mother. So I guess maybe as far as the military, now my father wanted me, he really wanted me to join the Marine Corps, but I thought he was crazy. I was like, no, what? I didn't want any part of that life. I liked what it brought. It's like what I call more than a conqueror. I did not step foot in the military. I did not shoot anybody. I had not pulled through a bomb or anything like that. I didn't do 1 foot of boot camp. However, I reaped the benefits. I had an ID card. I was able to get on base. I was able to, you know, go to the commissary, do all the things as a military dependent, never step foot in boot camp. Okay. So I was more than a conqueror. I liked that side of it. And so I thought my dad was crazy for asking me that. And he kept asking me, but I just didn't want to do it yet. And I don't know, maybe because he was already retired by the time I was born. And my mother was also in the military. She was also done by the time I was born. So I didn't.
They weren't in the military. They were Marines.
Marines,
Just
okay.
Point that out.
They were Marines.
Them other services, they were in the military, but you are a Marine. Just to make sure that we point that out.
So I did not see it. So, but still, it was a natural thing. It was like a natural occurrence. Yeah. It was a natural thing for me to. So when I said, I'm never marrying a Marine.
Never say never.
Never say never. Never say never. Okay, so now that we've talked about that, personalities, what do you guys think that you guys took personality after me or your dad, or a little bit of both?
No.
Me and mom are carbon copies for a fact. Ella definitely takes after dad more. You have some mom antics, but I'm definitely a
mom
carbon
antics.
Carbon cat.
Every once in a while, I pop out with something like that, but it's really dad.
I will say, I think my like I'm a person who's like, oh, if I said I was gonna do something, like, no, it's gonna happen, like, or like I'm not super private. Matter of fact, I probably overshare too much, but I do move in silence in terms of, like,
that's true.
I don't say something's complete until it's complete.
Okay.
I think I get I think I get that from dad. I'm like, oh, it's hard? Okay, and? Great. It has to be done? Forward. But I would say the majority of me, like my personality, my spirit, goofiness, my caringness, my nurture, loving side, all this stuff comes from my mother for sure. Mom, you're a goofball.
Beyond.
I didn't say it.
Dad is the life at the party.
He's a closet.
Wherever he goes,
he's
making everybody laugh. So I will say, Dad can be. Dad, you
I didn't say
You
it.
do. He does. I also
out,
make
everybody's
people laugh.
Mom, most definitely, most definitely. But yeah, I'll say when we go out, like people surround.
Okay, so extrovert, introvert.
I'm an extrovert.
I'm both. I'm an introvert.
You're an introvert. You're an introvert that can be.
I can be
That can be an extrovert.
because I'm extroverted with y'all. Anybody else? No, I'm an introvert.
Right. I am a introvert. Go ahead.
What?
I'm going to explain what that means. I'm going to explain that. I'm going to explain it.
Yeah, you're okay. All right.
What are you?
Huh?
What's
I'm
yours?
An introvert.
Okay.
That can be.
Extrovert.
That's what I'm saying. So you're saying I'm an extrovert?
You're an
You're saying
introvert.
That's what you're saying? I'm an extrovert? No, that's not what you're saying. I am the most extrovert introvert.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
You're an extrovert introvert. Yeah.
I'm great. I can do all the things, because the Bible talks about being all things to all men. So I can do what I need to do, but really, yeah, I'm okay by myself. I can have lots of fun. I have tons of stuff to do. I can read. I can just meditate. I can be quiet. I can pray. I can watch a show. What's my favorite show? Go ahead. What do you say?
CSI Miami.
Yeah, CSI Miami. I put CSI Miami on and I go to sleep. It's like something that we go to sleep on. What's your favorite show? What do you like to watch? What do you watch to go to sleep, or do you watch TV to go to sleep?
Absolutely not. If I'm watching TV, I am seriously watching it.
Really?
I'm really big on cinema. I pay attention to everything.
Yeah, you should know that about Gayla. Gayla's looking.
But sometimes it's like a wind down. You don't wind down.
No, it's chaotic.
Wind down is cut the TV off.
Right, I have to choose to turn off my TV because I will stay up and I can't watch something. I have to literally.
I'll stay
I will
up.
understand everything that's happening. I can't miss it.
I'm the same way. I gotta cut everything off.
Because you'll watch it all night.
All night.
I'll finish 3 seasons in a night. Got to turn it off.
And what's your babe?
I just got thrown on paternity court.
Paternity court. We will. There's
I go on paternity court, and then when they come and say you are
How did
not
the
father?
That's chaotic.
Literally, what?
No, that's the no.
court is all.
Because then what happens is we'll wake up and be like, he was like, babe, what? Who was the dad? Was he the dad?
Was he the
I'm like,
dad?
oh, we have to rewind it back and see
Rewind
who
that
was
back.
the daddy. It's horrible. It's horrible. That's something.
Was he the father?
Oh yeah, was he the father? And he'd be like, I'm not gonna say what he says. I'm not gonna repeat what he says about these women.
Hey,
I'm not gonna do it.
No. There's some good things that happen.
Yeah.
Some girls, they haven't found their father, and they finally
Right, those are good ones.
Good and feel good stories. They find their father after 20 years, and the DNA comes back. This is your father. Oh,
Okay, I get that. Okay, we're gonna wind this up a little bit. What is the funniest family memory that you can think of? The funniest thing?
I say the funniest thing. I'm thinking about when we went to. I believe it was Busch Gardens, probably first year of college or second year of college. I can't remember. We went to Busch Gardens and me, Missy, Chris, we were all playing at that thing. Y'all know what I'm talking about? And it was like a race and Missy really wanted a fluffy stuffed animal. We took a bunch of videos. We were definitely at Busch Gardens. I remember this now because we got turkey legs. And we were all at this thing, and Mom, you were recording, and it was so hilarious, and we had to throw the thing throw this ball perfectly.
Oh, right, so the game little area, not the ride you're talking about. Oh, because I'm trying to a ride would do. Okay.
And Chris kept failing. You were in the video, you were like, yeah.
Those are my favorites.
And that was funny. Too. And then I got it in one try and got Miss Tia.
Hey. She don't even remember.
I'm trying to think about my favorite memory, funniest memory. It's either got to be when Grammy came down and we went to the beach and she was getting knocked over by them waves. Or
it was
anytime where we've competed in some kind of game, whether it was Easter egg
Uno
hunt,
or something. Those
no, because Uno was serious.
I like when you said Easter.
Bible
That's
trivia was serious.
Bible trivia.
The candy was wild.
Who was it serious by though?
Chris.
I'll say because I try to make it fun. Chris was competitive, but honestly though, Chris beat y'all all the time.
It's not fair.
Chris Beach, I don't know if it was just that I had
no
more
sympathy.
one-on-one with him with the Bible study. Y'all just didn't. I don't know. I taught y'all the same thing, but Chris remembered.
Chris was always smart for no reason.
He would get it. He would remember the Bible verses and the people of the Bible. But I would say our funniest thing was the Easter. When there was a lot of times Easter egg hunts. Sometimes we would always travel and we weren't able to have the Easter egg hunt. So one day God gave me this wonderful God idea, and I saw some Easter eggs there were glow in the dark Easter eggs. So of course, what did I do? I had an Easter egg hunt in the house, and every Easter egg hunt after that I don't think we ever went outside again. We always had them in the house, but we just had so much fun. And every year, what happened? What happens every year?
We lost the egg, could not find the egg.
To this day, and we have a house that there's an egg in the backyard of our house in South Carolina that has money in it. If y'all want to go, it has money in it. It was the golden egg. Never found it. But yeah, we have great stories about that.
The kids were in serious competition, and Chris didn't care about anything. He would run. He would knock stuff over just to find an egg, including you two.
Yes, that's
and
right.
then Misty was on the low, being silent about what she's doing.
I was strategic.
But she was strategic. And Gayla, I would say, Gayla, how many you got, Gayla? I'd be like, look over here. I started helping Gayla out.
She wasn't competitive for real.
Because Chris was too much work for me. I was like, I'm not trying to
Chris
play.
would be whizzing all over the place, and you trying to find it. Yeah.
Okay, beautiful stories, wonderful memories. Last and final question: in your wildest imagination, where do you see yourself older? I'll give you a choice to answer either or. What would you say to your younger self? What would you say to your younger self? Or where do you see yourself in the next 10 years? In your imagination, where do you see yourself doing? Or what's your profession? What do you do? What you would like to do? What? So you choose what you want to answer. What would you say to your younger self or the other one?
What I would say to my younger self is listen to your parents' advice about people.
Amen.
Not just listen, because I heard it.
Oh,
but I didn't apply it.
That's a good preach.
That part.
That's a good one.
10 years from now, I've got a doctorate in physical therapy.
Ma'am.
Bless your soul.
Ma'am.
You can't just be a PT anymore. You got to get a doctorate.
The Lord on my soul.
That would be the ideal. I want to work in preventative rehab, period. So
okay,
let's
you know
just
what?
say preventative rehab. I'm working preventative rehab.
I said your wildest imagination, so that's good.
Yes, that is the wildest, because getting a doctorate in physical therapy
Bless your heart.
it's not easy at all. Working in a physical therapy office for almost a year now, and it's like my ideal profession, and I really can see myself doing it. So hopefully living somewhere in DC. I don't know. I really like DC.
Oh, good. I didn't know that. Richmond.
She's Richmond bound. Yeah, DC with a nice house, a nice paycheck.
$1 million.
Amen. And free time.
And free time, period.
Mm-hmm.
What you got?
Well, I would tell my younger self to, stay on the grind, continue to do what you're doing, and everything. But I would tell him to, enjoy the journey, man. That's good. I didn't enjoy the journey. Stop and smell the roses along the way, right? You think you got to grind, but then you don't appreciate, you miss the journey. You get to the top, you get all the way, and you look back and you say, oh man, I missed all that by trying to burn and grind. I would tell myself you're good enough. You're going to get where you need to go. You can enjoy the journey. Allow myself to enjoy the journey is what I would tell my younger self.
That's beautiful. I like that. So I was going to say the same, ma'am. I was going to say the same thing. For me, I would tell my younger self that, girl, it is okay. It is okay. God has got you in every step of the way. He's always been with me, but you know what? I did not really understand who God was when I was younger, but I would tell my younger self to it's okay. Like, live your life, live it to the fullest. I was too much of analytical. I thought too much, and it made me miss out on things. So just live your life. Just live, be free, trust God. That's what I would definitely tell myself. Okay? So that about wraps it up for the White Chair Talk Family Edition Mother's Day. Nobody said Happy Mother's Day to me.
1, 2, 3.
Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. And I want to encourage everyone to be the best version of yourself. Show up every day as the best version of yourself. 'Yourself. Whatever that looks like, let it be the best. Until next time, bye.
Until next time, bye. Happy Mother's Day. Thank you. And I want to encourage everyone to be the best version of yourself. Show up every day as the best version of yourself. Whatever that looks like, let it be the best. Until next time.